On today's show, I teach you how to handle pressure. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Top Line Entrepreneur, episode 3, I believe. Episode 3. Today I want to teach you and talk to you about something that's very near and dear to my heart, and that is pressure. Every good entrepreneur faces it. Every new entrepreneur faces it, as well as people who have been in the game for a million years. Pressure is part of the game. You got to know what to do with it, how to use it, how to leverage it, and how to not let that pressure bring you down. So, today I want to start off by saying lately I've been under pressure. That's why we're talking about it today, is because it's right there. It's the low-hanging fruit. It's easy topic for me to talk to you guys about today. And I'm sure even if you're not an entrepreneur that you're facing pressure in your life in some area, whether it's a relationship or your fitness, your health, your finances, something, I'm sure you're under pressure. And when you have pressure, you need to know what to do with it and how to use it so you can get out of the situation you're in. Now, for me, it's been about a decade, but really right now I can only see it like it's been about since March. I've been under an enormous amount of pressure because I had something hanging over my head that is actually going to be done and be taken care of come tomorrow. So, what little things did I do with that pressure? First of all, you've got to just be able to laugh at your circumstances and laugh at your situation. To not take it so seriously. Because if you do take it serious, and you do take yourself too serious, you're going to be screwed. So whatever situation you're under, whether it's just a new business venture, or whether you've got a client situation that you're trying to hammer out, or you've got an invoice that's unpaid and you're behind on a couple of your bills, just laugh about it. There is nothing you can do about the past except for the second step, which is take action. When you have pressure, the thing that's going to alleviate that stress, it's going to alleviate some of that pain and that mental fog that you're feeling in your head is by taking action, by getting after some of those things that are going to take you from the current situation to where you actually want to go. So that might be a simple little win, like just making a little quick checklist of 5 simple things you can do to get you to the next step. Or it could be as simple as making that phone call, just hitting it first thing in the morning, the phone call that you're dreading the most. Make it right away, because all that pressure you're feeling, you might be able to take that out at 5 or 6 a.m. And if you can knock that pressure out, you're going to be a lot more productive throughout the day. Another important thing, step 3, the people that are around you that you would hope would support you, they're not going to support you. Not always. So don't always look to them. Those people that you're hoping to pick up the slack or that will see your need, don't put your trust and your hope on those people. You need to take action, because those people will let you down. And if you allow that person to be the one that you're going to blame and you start to do that, you are going to set yourself back big time. Because all those people that you thought were cheering for you, everybody that you thought was cheering for you, they're just hoping for an opportunity to boo you. Just remember that. Everybody that you hope, they're cheering for you now, but they're just dying to boo. So don't put everything on someone else. Take responsibility. That is huge. Being disciplined and having personal responsibility is massive. Over the last 10 years, there have been a million times where I've wanted to be able to get something done. I've wanted to accomplish something. I've had some pressure, and I was hoping that somebody would just come in and just knock out some easy stuff. And they're just not there. So you have to take the responsibility upon yourself to either communicate that to somebody else or do it yourself. I think another thing to do when you're under pressure is have a couple of those things that you do that pull the pressure off of you. So for me, some of the things that I do to get pressure off of me when I'm under it, I can't always avoid it, but what I can do is I can exercise. I can eat right. I can get enough sleep. I can drink enough water. I can step back from a problem. One of my big key attributes that I learned over the last 10 years is step away from the problem. Because when you're emotional about it, and your lower level thinking starts to take over, you can become a little agitated. You can make improper decisions. You can make, your ego can take over, which is something I had to fight a lot, is to be able to step back and say, okay, I'm just going to be quiet. I'm just going to walk. I'm going to go on a walk, typically, is what I do. We call it, we have a little phrase for it around here, but we go on a little walking meeting and kind of clear the head, talk a little bit, and then think while you're moving. So that's an important thing to do when you're under pressure. Just move and think for a minute. Don't overanalyze it, but take a step back so you don't just react emotionally. Step back, look at it from a high level, and then make an adjustment from there. What else have I been doing lately while I'm under pressure? Another thing when you're under pressure is to write it down on paper. Take out a piece of paper and write down what your problem is and ask yourself some better questions about that. I learned this one from Tony Robbins like a million years ago. Ask yourself better questions and get better answers. So instead of saying what's wrong about this problem, say what's great about this problem. What's great about this problem? I got an issue right now with whatever in business. Let's say you had one. I've got a problem with this. What's great about it? What can I learn from this? What am I willing to do to make this situation better? What am I willing not to do to make this situation better? And how will this situation make me a better person? When you ask yourself those questions, you start to come up with better answers, and then your brain starts to think a little bit more positively. So right now, again, like I mentioned, the last few months have been massively stressful for me. Another thing with that is when you are under stress, it's okay. Don't mope around and cry about it. I've got people sitting even behind the camera who always tell me, you're just always so sure of yourself and you always seem so confident that it almost comes across as intimidating sometimes. Britt oftentimes tells me that. But the fact of the matter is I'm just like you and you and you and you and you and whoever else is watching out there. I get nervous too. I'm unsure of myself too. I don't always know that everything's going to work out. And trust me, it doesn't always work out. A lot of times in life, you're sitting there and your things are rolling smooth, and all of a sudden you just get punched straight in the face. And sometimes you get kneed right in the gut, right, to follow that. And sometimes you just get backhanded right after all that. And over the last few months, that's happened to me time and time and time again. But still, my staff tells me that I'm sure of myself and I'm always confident. But you got to laugh at yourself. You got to expect that things are going to happen. You got to expect that times are going to come up where something challenging comes up and it puts you under pressure. But because you're so used to it, get used to the pressure, you should be able to kind of walk through that fire, have the confidence, have some swagger with you, not ego, but you should be able to handle those situations, and then your team and the people around you will feed off of that. Otherwise, they're going to be worried. Now, I'm not saying you should bottle everything up, but a lot of times the things that are a problem today, you just got to remember, this is a big thing for pressure. Whatever's really, really crazy going on right now, whatever's just weighing you down, whatever you're stressed, anxious about, whatever you're feeling so pressured about, you can't eat, you can't sleep, your stomach hurts, you can't digest your food properly, you can't construct your thoughts, whatever that is right now, 6 months, 12 months, 24 months, 48 months later, you look back on it and you laugh, right? You only look back at a handful of things in your life that go, oh my gosh, that is like one of the most pivotal, hardest things I've really been through. Britt had that with her ACL surgeries. I'm sure each time she thinks back to that, that's pretty major, right? But then think back to a little decision you had to make that you were just stressing about for months and months and months. When you look back on it, it really wasn't so bad. You know what I mean? Right. For me, I look back to times of 2008, my whole life changed. I had the way that I thought my life was going to be in 2008. Every last thing I thought was going to be in my life, the whole thing changed. My whole life changed. Everything. From family to career path to everything. My whole life got flipped upside down. It would never return to be the same again. It was done. The whole thing was done. And that's a big, important thing. So that time, yeah, that was stressful. But I look back at 2009, 10, 11, 12, all these little things that added up that were always, I felt like I was under pressure. They're really not that big of a deal. So learn to look back on yourself, laugh about things. Just laugh about your situation. Say, cool, what can I do to get better? Don't overanalyze it. Don't sit there and hem and haw over the situation where I don't know what I'm going to do. I can't believe this happened to me. Trying to place blame on other people. It is what it is. Last few months, my quote is always, it's part of the game. It is part of the game. The game has things, when you play football, you will get your clock cleaned. If you're in MMA, you're going to get punched in the face. If you're a baseball player and you step into the batter's box, you are going to get hit by a pitch. It is part of the game, right? If you strike out, if I could go back to baseball, whenever I'd strike out, that's part of the game. Dude, I'd go into the dugout, break the helmet. I'd be breaking helmets left and right, getting in trouble, getting yelled at. For what? It's part of the game. You need to be able to move on, or as Blake says, our strength or our football coach here at Topman, he says, flush it. A crappy performance, a crappy day, a crappy situation, anything that's crappy, go on the John, hit the handle, and flush that thing and move forward. So I just want to give you guys hope that if you're out there and you're watching this and you've been under pressure, if you're an entrepreneur, you are always going to be under pressure. And let's be honest, moms, dads, brothers, sisters, high schoolers, middle schoolers, senior citizens, we're always under pressure. You have to know how to use it to make you get better. You have to use the pressure. And trust me, the day that you stop feeling pressure, trust me on that, the day you stop feeling pressure is a dangerous day, because that really means you're not really pushing the envelope. That means you're not really stretching yourself or getting better. That means you might be settling. Settling could be single-handedly the worst decision that you could ever make in your life. And I can tell you that firsthand. So the uncomfortable, pressure, pressure cooking, anxiety, just driving situations I've been under the last few months are going to catapult my life into a new direction and a million other people's lives around me. So was it worth it? Yes. Was it fun? Did it make me happy? Like some influencers out there like to talk about, just be happy. Happiness is the key. No, none of the stuff, the whole process of it, there was a lot of times, almost nearly every day, I wasn't always happy with what I had to do. But now, come tomorrow, I will be a happy guy. And come over the next few months, not only will I be happy, but now a lot of other people will be happy because I went through the pressure. And that kind of makes me think about even just, there's some biblical things where people were under pressure. That doesn't mean they're bad people, but they're under so much pressure that they despaired of living life itself. And I'm sure you and me and everybody else, we've kind of been there where you're under so much, you go, I can't take anymore. How many, after the 5 knee surgeries, did you ever get to the point where you're like, you almost feel it, you know what I mean? It's that self-pity moment where you're like, why me? I can't handle anymore. You know what I mean? But you're still standing. And all you people, everyone out there who's watching, I know for a fact that whatever you're going through, every mistake you've made, every ignorant thing you've said, or every action that you've done that's offended someone or offending even yourself or just not living up to your potential, I just want to reassure you guys that if you just take a step back, you feel the pressure, you take the pressure on, you look it dead in the face and say, I got this. You will be in a better situation. It may not be tomorrow. It may not be next week. But just if you keep taking action, again, if you just laugh at yourself, if you have some humility, you don't let your ego get in the way, and you just keep pushing forward, you're going to get out of that mess. You're going to get out of that sticky situation, and you're going to be able to move forward. Just move on. We talked about it last night. It's a quote from an old book. It's old cheese starts to stink after a while. And you need to go out and you need to find new, fresh cheese. So that is how I'll close today out. Make sure you're going to look for the new cheese. Don't get hung up on the old cheese. And if the old cheese is your mistake, it just stinks. Throw that out. Flush it. Flush the old cheese. Flush your crappy days. Flush your crappy situation. And don't let the pressure eat you up inside. Stay confident. Make sure you have a little swagger. When people see you, they should be like, man, that person seems sure of themselves. They don't know that half the time I'm stressed out. They don't know that half the time I had a million problems when I come in here. The only thing that they should know is that I'm going to put a smile on. And a lot of times when you do that, it does help you. A lot of times when you do put the smile on and you're like, hey, I'm just going to focus on these people. I'm going to give everything that I possibly have. You start to feel so much better. And that's where happiness comes in. You get happy when you start to make progress. You get happy when you get better. And you get happy when you don't let your situations and circumstances set you back in business, in fitness, in relationships, or whatever it is. You have a bad day in your business, you lose a couple bucks, you hedge your bets on something and it doesn't go as you planned. Get back up, dust yourself off, and get back in the game. That's all I got for you guys today. How long am I at?
14:29.
14 minutes, man. I must usually gas out about a bunch of other stuff. It's a big day. We got a lot of big things going down at Top Line. A little bit of pressure for the last few months is going to help everybody out quite a bit. I'm excited about it. Everyone out there who's watching this, who's going to be a part of anything we're doing, you guys should be excited about it. Big things are in store. A little sacrifice. We lose a couple of battles, but we are going to win the war. Let me tell you that. That's what I'm confident in. So this whole time I go, okay, yeah, I'm going to have to do this. It's going to take a little bit of time. It's going to take a little energy. It's going to take some money, some resources, and it's going to take some stress. It's going to take a little piece of me away. And it did this morning. I had to take care of some things this morning I didn't want to take care of. It didn't make me happy. What made me happy is that I was knocking those things out. I was pounding it out today, just crushing this morning. And now it's done. Now I can slide into tomorrow feeling good, confident, and move on. So just battle through whatever you're going through. Big things are in store. If you guys out there found this to be a helpful video, drop a comment. Let me know. If you had questions about a certain situation you might be going through, I may have gone through it. I've done a lot of stupid things in business. I've done a lot of stupid things in my life in general, things I'm not proud of, like I'm sure you have. So don't just sit there and look at me and go, dang, this dude's jacked up. You are as well. We all are. But I'll admit that I am, and I've done a lot of things that I wish I could go back and change. I can't, but what I can do is change what I do moving forward. And that's what you can do, and I can do, and everyone else can do. You don't have to repeat things just because you did it once. You don't have to beat yourself up because you did something wrong once either. And I think that's another just important thing to go back that I touched on. All those people that you think are going to help you on your journey. If you want something, you have to go get it done. I'm not saying be cynical of other people, but what I'm saying is don't place all of your expectation and all your hope in someone else taking action on what you need to do yourself. A lesson I've learned the hard way, and a lesson that now has helped me out quite a bit, because there are a lot of people that you would think, you're like, of course they're going to be with me. I mean, think about Jesus in the Bible. He asked people to stay up with him while he was at his hardest time in the Garden of Gethsemane. And they all went to sleep. All his boys, everyone he helped, that he wanted to be with him, that he needed, and his one time of need, they went to sleep. They said, nah, dude, we need to catch up on our Z's. So if all of the disciples gave up on Jesus himself, just expect that the people closest to you that you would assume would help you, they will not have your back when you need them. It's important. Remember that. Take responsibility, have personal self-discipline, and remain confident and steadfast in your decisions and your choices. Be willing to adjust and counterpunch quickly like Conor McGregor would. But again, be ready for the pressure. Be ready for the pressure. And release a little bit. Get the workout in. Get the workout in. Go have coffee with somebody who you really love and admire and respect, and ask them a couple of questions. You'd be surprised at what a cup of coffee with somebody who's intelligent and believable, and you can ask them some questions. Or like when me and my best friend Alex, every morning we do a Bible study. Every morning. We go back and forth. He lives in Arizona now. He actually started Top Line with me. And two grown men sit there and we go back and forth and we ask each other what we need help with, like he did with me this morning. And we can kind of go back and forth on something, and you have no idea how much relief you get from that. So I don't expect him to solve my problems, but having a conversation with him, that's something you can expect out of a lot of people, I'm sure. So be willing to lean on people in that respect, but don't put all your eggs in their basket. Take it on yourself. Handle your pressure, absorb the pressure, feel it, flow into the pressure, tell them bring it on. Wake up in the morning and be like, let's roll. Let's bring the pressure on, hit me with it, and I think you'll feel a lot better, especially if you're an entrepreneur. We'll catch you guys soon at Top Line. Give us a follow, subscribe to us on YouTube, subscribe to this on I think you follow it on Spotify. We're going to be getting on iTunes soon. I don't know if are we on iTunes yet? We're almost on iTunes. Almost doesn't do it. See, there you go. There's one. Almost doesn't get you to where you want to be. You're either there or you're not there. But that's where we're at, guys. I hope you enjoy this video. And again, if you think it sucks, like I always say, drop a comment on that too. It helps us either way. We'll see you guys soon. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for checking it out. Handling pressure and those things that I just talked about are some of my principles. I know they'll help you. If you haven't checked out this book yet and you're an entrepreneur, make sure you check this out. Ray Dalio's Principles. If you don't know who Ray Dalio is, me and you would have a hard time being friends. You need to get this book. You need to read it. You need to absorb it. Very important piece of literature if you are an entrepreneur. But if you don't like reading, you can always check out some of the extra videos that we have either here on Facebook or YouTube. If they're on YouTube, we'll have them linked up right here. We'll see you guys soon.